Okay, terima kasih diucapkan dan selamat sejahtera dan selamat pagi arkitek arkitek Ahmad Farid Abdul Ghaffar hari ini as chairman dan juga moderator pada hari ini dari Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia Southern Chapter, dan MC Encik Khairul Naim, juga speaker Mr. Chin So Mau, Group Managing Director Pekat Group, Mr. Johansi, Head of Business Development and Director Solar Ru Sistem Sdn Bhd Pekat Group, pihak sekretariat, tuan-tuan perempuan yang hadir pada sesi ini lah. So pihak SEDA berterima kasih atas jemputan ni. Dan untuk pembentangan saya hari ini tidak banyak, lebih pada fungsi SEDA dan juga beberapa program berkaitan dengan renewable energy dan juga sedikit data terkini, dan yang selainnya lebih kepada pemasangan solar di fotovoltaik dengan gambar dan juga sebagainya. Saya tidak perlu terlalu detail sebab saya percaya pembentang seterusnya akan membentangkan secara lebih detail lah. So kita mulakan. Terima kasih. Macam mana saya project my presentation terus Okay, boleh nampak So just to reconfirm, everybody can see my presentation slide ni. Encik Naim? Boleh nampak? Okay, just to reconfirm. Okay. So my slide, as mentioned just now, sorry, I will mix what I call between English and BM because the slide is in English. So macam mention tadi, kita buat secara interaktif ataupun informal but in the formal mode. Okay, fungsi SEDA Malaysia. SEDA Malaysia was established back in September 2011 under the SEDA Act 726 lah. So we are the agency under the Ministry of Energy, Natural Resources, KETSA. So our function is mainly to advise the minister and the government entities on all matters relating to sustainable energy lah. So that is the main function, and then at the same time to promote, implement national policies objective for renewable energy, and to promote, stimulate, facilitate, and develop sustainable energy, implement, manage, monitor, and review the feed-in tariff system. Okay, kita inisiatif pertama SEDA Malaysia semasa ditubuhkan ialah mainly asalnya ialah untuk feed-in tariff lah. Dan slowly go to net energy metering dan beberapa lagi fungsi-fungsi lain lah, termasuk juga pelaksanaan secara by directive energy efficiency oleh pihak kerajaan, and then to implement sustainable energy law and recommend reforms such as law to federal government. So SEDA Malaysia is the custodian of Renewable Energy Act, Akta 725, dan skala perubahan dan juga recommendation for futures, part of our functions, and to promote private sector investment in sustainable energy sector. This is how we also work closely with the businesses and how to promote the sustainable energy, particularly on renewable energy. And when it comes to climate change, we also focal point on matters related to sustainable energy. In fact, we work closely also dengan Energy Commission lah, because in terms of sustainable energy, of course, we are the custodian of renewable energy in terms of feed-in tariff. But when it comes to lesson penjanaan and so on, that is the Energy Commission, because license to generate electricity in Malaysia, Peninsula, particularly Peninsula, Sabah and Labuan, is under the Akta Bekalan Elektrik di bawah Suruhanjaya Tenaga, and our functions is not cover regulatory in Sarawak, because Sarawak have its own ordinance. We sometimes communicating with the government of Sarawak in terms of facilitating or sharing informations on development of sustainable energy, particularly on renewable energy there. And part of that also, SEDA Malaysia also responsible to provide input or program human development and competency in sustainable energy, especially the renewable energy, and also some on energy efficiency. Like for example, the competency in terms of grid connected photovoltaics design, installation, wireman, chargeman maintenance, and so on. Understand that is on the energy efficiency. We also now ventures to make what I call a few modules on energy efficient building, zero energy building, and some energy what I call management in industries as well. Right? So when mentioned about sustainable energy, a lot of people are a bit confused. What's different sustainable energy, renewable energy, energy efficiency? So we would like to always use this pyramid sustainable energy. Sustainable energy consists of renewable energy and energy efficiency. So the managing of the energy in between is, we call it energy management. So in Malaysia, SEDA Malaysia power actually, as mentioned just now, under the renewable energy on the development of renewable energy. The energy efficiency, energy management is under the Energy Commission. That's why we work closely with Energy Commissions in terms of the overall sustainable energy development. And under the Renewable Energy Act 2011, the fuel that covered under the current act is starting from energy come from the biomass, biogas, solar photovoltaic, small hydro and geothermal. But at this moment, only solar, biomass, biogas, and small hydro is already implemented. The geothermal still not implemented yet. And similarly to all the sustainable program, it will address the economic, social, environment. But in terms of environment here, we add also not only just environment, but also energy security. Because when it comes to sustainable energy, energy security, I mean, to supply adequate energy in the country is more so important, what they call task, so that it can secure what they call supply to all sectors, especially the nation. Because energy is actually one of the driver for economic and also stability in the country. And Malaysia have a target of renewable energy. This is the milestone of how the development of renewable energy in Malaysia. It started with the small renewable energy program SREP, those early days by the Ministry of Energy. And later on in 2011, the publish of Renewable Energy Act, which is purely on the feed-in tariff mechanism. And then the same time also, the custodian is SEDA Malaysia. So it pair, the RE Act and SEDA Act is paired together, giving what they call power to SEDA Malaysia to embark on the renewable energy, sustainable energy, particularly on renewable energy development program. And later on, slightly bigger scale and also more independent is the large-scale solar by energy commissions. And then the self-consumptions. Actually, CELCO already implemented much earlier than net energy metering, NEM. And SEDA have been mandated to implement the net energy metering, but the guideline, what I call all the keperluan is set by the Energy Commission, the guideline. So the current percentage of renewable energy mix, when we mention renewable energy mix, is referring to electrical renewable energy. We not counted the renewable thermal energy here. Okay? Currently is 23%. And then the target by 2025 will be 31%, and 2035 will be 40%. So this is the what they call current status, as mentioned just now, the breakdown, 23% currently is about 8.4 gigawatt installed capacity. So by 2025, target 31%. So currently left another 8%. Still have another few years to go to achieve 31%. So renewable energy program in Malaysia is mentioned just now, involve of biomass, hydro, biogas, and solar. And all this program under SEDA Malaysia involve in the early stage the feed-in tariff. But for solar photovoltaic, feed-in tariff is no more offered since the past a few years. So it's only continue for those already holding the quota. So since the topic today is about photovoltaics, we zoom further to the photovoltaic. There is 4 initiatives. The under SEDA Malaysia is the feed-in tariff and net energy metering. We are implementing that. But the large scale is by energy commissions, the large scale solar, and also the self-consumptions. And in terms of ownership of the what I call solar photovoltaic, pemilikan, normally there is a 4 type. If you want to have photovoltaic on your roof, either your first option is you buy cash, beli secara cash as normal, or you loan from the bank. These 2 is the common one. But under this net energy program and also FIT, even now is Selco, so there also what we call no capex option, where the industry, I mean the solar photovoltaic industry, like for example the registered photovoltaic investor, they also can provide solar leasing, meaning to say the solar company can install the solar photovoltaic and you pay at the fixed amount every month to the company. And another option is solar power purchase agreement, meaning to say the solar company install solar on your roof, but in return you buy the energy generated from the solar. The balance you buy from the grid, from TNB. So this is a scheme that currently popular. I believe the next presenter group will present in detail their program. So in terms of payment, there's 2 ways to pay to the investor, the RPVI. First, either you pay, because when you have this what I call a program, meaning to say you still need to pay your electricity bill, the balance to TNB. But at the same time, if you sign agreement solar purchase with the solar company, you also need to pay the energy you buy from the generation of the solar there. But if there's also option, they call it SARE, small supply agreement renewable energy, where the solar company RPVI, they work together with TNB and come in only one bill, meaning to say TNB will issue a bill, but inside the bill there will be a details how much the energy generated from the renewable energy and how much you purchase from TNB. So it's less hassle, meaning say only one bill. So when come to again the detail of photovoltaic renewable energy program by SEDA, the feed-in tariff I mentioned just now. Feed-in tariff is what they call the previous program, normal quota now. So whatever energy generated from the solar photovoltaic from your roof, you sell directly to the grid, not for own consumption. It's sell directly 100%. So sell at the premium rates lah. If you want to use the energy, you need to buy back using through the normal meter lah. Meaning to say in this installation you have 2 meters. One is the renewable energy meter, PV meter, and one is the consumer meter. And for net energy metering, technically, it's still the same. The only difference is the energy generated from the solar panel will be used by the consumer first. The feed-in tariff actually sell 100%. But for net energy metering, used by the consumer. And when there is a balance or extra, and sell to the grid at the certain rates lah. So in Malaysia, currently for domestic and government building is 1-to-1 tariff, but for commercial they use system marginal pricing tariff. Okay, net energy metering concept. Like for example, you can see the graph down here. The blue color, that is the what they call, say for example, the load profile of the building. I mean the power during daytime. And the yellow color, the orange color is the photovoltaic. So during the daytime, the photovoltaic generate, mostly it generate more than what you use, the power. So when it generate more, it will sell to the grid. So nighttime, there's no what I call sun. You still need power, you buy back from the grid. So this import export process happen at the end of the month. It will calculate the net consumption from TNB lah, from the bill. Okay, this is the real. This is the ideal situation. But in real life, import export in net energy metering program happen more than one times a day. Depend on the cloud. If suddenly the cloud overcast the sunshine, and then maybe when the generation lesser than the consumption, then the system will buy from TNB to cover the needs of the power. So it happened many times in a day. So as mentioned just now, the net energy metering program SEDA is only the implementing agency. The syarat, the garis panduan on all is set by the Regulator Energy Commission. So, okay, that is the net energy metering. Now, self-consumption. What's different self-consumption? Self-consumption technically still is exactly the same like installation like net energy metering. The only difference is under the self-consumption, you cannot what they call export any surplus of energy to the grid. Meaning to 100% used by the building. Yeah, because of that, the size of the solar photovoltaic normally will be lesser capacity compared to the installation of capacity of under the net energy metering, because you need to design downsize so that didn't allow any extra or excess to sell to the grid. Yeah? So under the net energy metering, there is a quota you need to apply, but under Selco, there's no quota at this moment. You can install. But if the capacity higher than 24 kilowatt for single phase and 72 for three phase, then it's required approval from Energy Commission, because you need a license to generate on that. So this is the snapshot of the net energy metering 3.0 currently, three category. There's a quota about 100 megawatt for NEM Rakyat, basically it's for residentials, 100 megawatt for NEM Government for government building, and 300 megawatt for commercial and industrial installations. So looks like today topic about installation in residentials. So the focus is actually at the NEM Rakyat. So as I mentioned again, Regulator Energy Commission, we are SEDA, the implementing agency. And the mechanism and rollover is NEM 1-to-1, meaning to say the rates that under the NEM Rakyat and NEM Government, the tariff sell to the TNB and you buy from TNB is the same. It's also at 1-to-1. I mean to say you can accumulate this what they call credit up to 12 months. But for Nova, it's not 1-to-1. The amount of the tariff you buy from TNB is depend on the tariff commercial and also industry. But when you sell to the grid, to the TNB, it's not at the 1-to-1 tariff, but it is under the system marginal pricing. If not mistaken, now the price is about 17 cents per kilowatt hour, if not mistaken. Yeah, it's always changed from month to month from the single buyer. You can see the information from single buyer website. So this NEM program is only for 10 years, meaning to say for the domestic rakyat and government, also Nova is only for 10 years. After 10 years, it will become a self-consumption. I mentioned just now about self-consumption, Selco concept. After 10 years, cannot sell the excess to the grid. Meaning to say that time, if you have surplus, either you throttle the consumption, the what they call the generations, so that doesn't allow to to export, or maybe that time battery options become a cheaper option, so you put a battery of it there so that you can use when you need it. In terms of limit for NEM rakyat, for single phase housing, it cannot be installed more than 4 kilowatt and then for 3 phase it's not more than 10 kilowatt. For NEM government, the maximum is 1 mega, and also the limiting is about 60% of the fuse rating. And for low voltage and for medium voltage, those have maximum demand and so on. So cannot be more than 75% of the maximum demand. And for Nova, also similar like NEM government, but the limit is 1 megawatt AC for single building. But if you have more building, for example, under Nova, what good thing is about Nova is if a building, they have access, they can share the access to another 3 building under the same group. Yeah, same company or same group. For example, say the factory have a big roof. I mean, like for example, the factory have a big roof, so they generate say more than what they need. They can share the balance maybe to their HQ, to the other parent, what they call company under the same group. So that's the thing. So with the maximum is 5 mega for if you want to share, they call it visual aggregation to other building. So current status of the quota for NEM rakyat still have a lot. Currently only apply about 13 megawatt, and then for NEM government still have a lot. But for Nova, the quota applied, I think is already full. But currently we approve about close to 200 megawatt. But if say the applications after sometimes during the assessment process and so on, of course sometimes there is a rejections and so on, they will put back the quota to the basket lah. So if you want to know about capacity to install on the roof, we have the NEM calculator on our website. You can try it, but this is not accurate. This is just an estimate. So if you want to know the detail accurate, then you need to, if you have a technical background, then you can calculate yourself. But normally people will refer to the PV company, solar company. So in SEDA, we provide the directory. So you can contact the solar company. There's a 2 category. One is PV service provider who install and what I call the system, but also the PV investor who invests, I mean, provide financial option to you. Normally, the PVRI will be also work together with the PV company, or they also eligible for both. And of course, in terms of installations, there is a requirement of competent person in terms of design. So the person must have a grid-connected photovoltaic system design by SEDA Malaysia. And then for installations, also there must be a competent person, as well as for wireman and chargeman. So for wireman chargeman, must be what I call people, I mean, have certificate from energy commissions. And then when they attend the training, we will inform the energy commissions to include the additional renewable energy wireman chargeman into their certificate of the competent person. This is photovoltaic of the photo of the installations of photovoltaic industry lah. Yeah, it's quite big. Yeah. And this is for the residential. Okay, that is on the installation. But a lot of people only look into installation of solar photovoltaic. But the trick is how to have optimum size of the photovoltaic. Yeah? The optimum size of the photovoltaic will be determined on the consumption of the building. Yeah. So analogy is like this. The water tap is actually considered like power supply from renewable energy, and this is the bucket, is the building, and then there's the leakages there. If you have a bigger water supply to the bucket, but there's a leakages there, meaning to say whatever you generate in terms of solar, you generate, if the building is not operating energy efficient, meaning to say whatever energy you generate will go to the drain. So it's good to make the building operating at the most efficient. It can be energy efficient design, plus energy management or practice by the owner or the occupant of the building. Imagine here, if you seal the leakages, meaning to say you doesn't require very big solar panel, meaning to say you have even smaller but enough. But if the building is not, if what I call it, implement energy efficient, how big is the renewable energy also not enough. And this is the proof. This is the normal houses in normal house in Putrajaya. It's not actually designed super with special ERE and so on. It's just normal, but because of the owner, they implement energy saving practice. There's now using aircon, they use cross ventilation, energy efficient daylight, and so on. All these features already mentioned in Uniform Building Bylaw. Right? So it's a part of the green features. And because of that, the house compared to the the similar house in Putrajaya, it saves energy about 61%. It reduced 61%, more than 50%. And the balance 38% actually the energy need. And then in 2017, the owner installed solar photovoltaic. The size required to supply 100% is only about 2 to 3 kilowatt only. Because this house, after it become energy efficient, the electricity bill in terms of ringgit is below 50 ringgit. And in terms of kilowatt hour, it's about 200 kilowatt hour. So 200 kilowatt hour per month is only need about 2-3 kilowatt. But if the house using, say, for example, 500 kilowatt hour a month, 2 or 3 kilowatt is not enough. So this is how the house managed to achieve 100% renewable energy, zero energy. This is another our partner, UDKL Lab, our training center with UDKL. This building also designed very super energy efficient. The saving is more than 50%, and because of that, the energy needed is smaller. So the size of the solar photovoltaic on the roof enough to cover 100% of the energy consumption. So I think this is the message from SEDA Malaysia. When we're doing renewable energy, don't forget about the energy efficiency. And energy efficiency and renewable energy, both combined, is actually a overall package of sustainable energy. I think that's all my presentations on today. Thank you very much. Pass back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Steve, for the presentation overview of this initiative provided by SEDA, and some technical insight how we can achieve efficiency on our energy. And for members, I would like to make some one announcement regarding the sign-in code and the sign-up code. For your information, will we release the sign-in code during this course of this session, and then the sign-up code will be released towards the end of the session. So in the meantime, you can fill up the details through the link that we provided on the chat box. Will be released from time to time, the link, so that anybody who does join in, you can check on the chat box, then click on the link to fill in all the details. Then once we release the sign-in code, you can answer in the link that you just opened just now. Okay. So